that just had like graduated from high school and stuff.
Okay.
And I was 16. And so it was like the sacrifice for the family, for my career and stuff.
They really believed in you.
They
Did you feel any type of pressure with that level of belief in you?
You know, I don't think I realized I did, but maybe I did now looking back, you know, and that's why I like feel like if these kids now, I'm like, y'all need to be in something. Don't you want to make us proud? Like I wanted to make my parents proud because they like believed in me so much. And now that we're having this conversation, I'm like, oh, maybe I was like pressuring myself. Even still, I'm like, I owe them so much.
Yeah.
Like,
are you getting emotional?
Yeah,
I can't watch people cry, by the way, because I'm
like,
looking
about
at you.
My parents grow up, I'll be like,
because
they did so much for me.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well,
cooking and crying. This is the name of the new show, girl. Cooking and crying.
I love when it sounds terrible, but I love when people cry on the show because I think it's like you're taking
it because you said it before, and I was like,
But I think it's because you're like, the cool thing about the whole Eating While Broke experience is like, I'm trying to get you back into that like seat of the beginning. You are really here's a little tissue.
I know, girl. I know. Once I started, thank you.
So when
Once I started, it doesn't stop.
So you get into this school. Your parents get you into this school. A team effort gets you into this school.
Yeah.
And
I booked Beyonce.
You
at
booked
the same
Beyonce.
Time.
What year was that? What Beyonce album was going on at that time? Because
this is the B-Day album. That's like when I started.
That was the whole to the left. No,
I think
in the box to the Irreplaceable. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think
there was a bunch of great records. I'm a diehard Jay-Z fan. So, and my twin sister is a diehard Beyonce fan, which is kind of weird because they're together now. But like, I was always a diehard Jay, and then he gets with Beyonce, and now she's like, "You ain't listening to the Beyonce record." I'm like, "You ain't listening to Jay-Z record."
Yeah. Did you guys go to On the Run?
I'm sure my sister did. My sister did a whole custom.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna burn it. I'm just trying to like brown it.
But no, On the Run. No, I mean I've only been to one Jay-Z concert. That's it. I mean, I'll be having money. My money is always funny.
Girl, one of the things that I like love to brag about is like I can say I was a Jay-Z dancer. Like that's cool to me because
hell yeah.
He's one of the coolest people. I named my dog after him. Like his name is Hove.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's like one of the coolest people ever. And
really?
He's like just so smart too, and like really nice, like a really nice guy. So yeah, and always like been consistent.
Consistent. You mean consistent in character?
Yeah,
or
and like with me, to me personally, because I'm speaking personally, but yeah.
You know, I say this on almost every episode, but I have an original one-of-a-kind painting of Jay-Z in the lobby.
Oh,
my little tiny lobby. You'll look at it afterwards, be like, oh, that's Jay. I got it custom made when I was like 24.
Over here.
It's huge.
By who?
My mom. I was like, Mom, I'll pay you whatever if you can make this painting on a 5-foot canvas for me. And then she didn't ship it to me till like 4 years later after I bought my first house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so... Okay. Shout outs. It's one of a kind. She always calls me, Jay would buy it. I'm like, Mom.
Look, this is coming together real quick, girl.
Yeah, you fast with it.
I'm only doing that amount of chicken. How much you want? You want some more than that?
I mean, it's okay.
You want
it's
the whole
okay because you know what? We're gonna be hearing your story. It sounds like you have a lot of stories.
So I'll be like, what are you multitasking, girl? Sometimes I'd be like, scatterbrained.
Where are you when you find out that first of all, where are you when I want to know what's going on in your head when you're auditioning, but I also want to know where you were when you found out you booked it.
I was at home when I found out I booked it. Home meaning in New York because I had moved to New York 16. This all happened in the year of, is there like a trash?
You could just use that bowl. Oh, no. Yeah, use that bowl. You're not cooking that chicken anyways.
Okay, we know. Okay. We'll keep it off camera or something. Okay. Yeah, so... what were we saying? I auditioned for her when I was 17. Still, this is like at the end of 06. And I'm going to turn this all the way down. Is this one?
Yes. 2006. Okay.
I'm actually going to turn it off. End of 06. I'm senior in high school.
And they knew you were a 17-year-old.
They eventually knew I was a 17-year-old. I don't think like when I was first auditioning, they knew. Once they like wanted to book me and stuff, they like asked me how old I was and like, what my situation was because I lived in New York. And they asked me to fly to LA and shoot a bunch of music videos. And that was the B-Day album. My first music video ever and my first job like with her was the Get Me Bodied music video.
Okay.
Do you know that song? How does it go? I ain't worried to me tonight. Sweat never hurt nobody.
Yeah. I remember that video. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in that video, and then like 2 days later, I shot the Green Light music video, and they put me like right next to her. And I remember on set, everybody kept just saying like, you guys really like resemble each other. Our hair was slicked back in a bun, and we're like standing like at side by side, like, or like in a line profile. And everybody was like, you guys just resemble each other. Like, are you related? And whatever. And so, and I remember her mom saying that she was like on set. That was when she was doing wardrobe and stuff like that. And yeah, I remember them like saying stuff about me on that set. And so after those music videos, I went back to New York and got a call to be a part of the tour. That's like how the tour stuff like started. And then I went on tour. This is at the top of 2007, my senior year of high school, but I went to the professional children's school that allowed me to like leave school and work and go on tour. I came back in June. I graduated, walked with my class, caught up on my schoolwork, went back on tour, and then dropped out of my dream college because tour was going.
What, dream college in Juilliard?
Juilliard, yeah.
Get the freak out.
Dropped out because I was enrolled, girl. I was enrolled. I was supposed to start like September 7th or something. I remember like very vividly. And I dropped out like the 1st, like literally a week before. I'm not mad because the spot actually went to a friend of mine who also was another dancer in New York. And I was like, great, that's cool. She was also Black. I was like, okay, because there was only like one of us at the time, girl. It was always like one little token. And then I went back on tour for like a month and then was like, now what with my career? Now what do we do?
Oh, now what were your parents saying too when you're like, were they involved in the discussion of you possibly leaving Juilliard and...
Yes, they were, and that was like my first like adult decision. They were like, we support you either way. We're here for you, whatever you want to do. We support you, Wow. Juilliard is great option. Beyonce, you want to keep touring and start your career? Also great.
And let's go back to that first. So your first time working with her, what are your thoughts when you're standing next to her? Are you nervous at all? Or are you just like, I got this in the bag? Like, what?
Oh my gosh. Like first time working with her. I mean, I was just like so green and like didn't know anything about the industry, but also like coming from the ballet world, very like, like disciplined. Okay. So like
ballet requires a lot of discipline, huh?
Oh my God. What, girl? They be like hitting you with rulers and stuff. And you're like, like tighten up, like it's very like, okay, like Russians and stuff. So yeah.
And when you were going to ballet and all that stuff, were there kids that looked like you? When I say that, Black, and you know what I'm trying to say.
No.
Are you're mixed, right?
Yeah. I'm
what
mixed.
are you? Black and white?
Black and white.
Okay. I'm black and white too.
Oh, you are? Who's
I'm
white?
Jewish and Jamaican. I have the white father.
I have a white dad too.
Okay, cool.
Which is like
it's very rare. Yeah, I always see it the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. If there was a lid, I would put a lid on, but
there's a lid in the back, but it's okay. It's
okay.
It's
We're just gonna let her simmer down on her own. This is so funny because when you're like not cooking in your kitchen, you're like everything's a little different.
Yeah. And you're trying to keep it like tidy and all that,
and it's not. It's going all over the place. Look at me. See? Okay, we're gonna let that simmer.
So take me back to the first time you're working alongside her. Like, what are your thoughts? Clearly, your posture and everything's on point. And you did practice before, like they make you practice a lot before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a lot of rehearsals. And this is back like in the beginning of her like branching off from
the Destiny's
Child and all of that. So she was like involved and included in a lot, like always in rehearsals, like there all day with us. Just like involved a lot. And even taking you back a little bit further, before I even auditioned, I was training at Alvin Ailey. You've heard of Alvin Ailey before? Mm-mm. It's a modern company, like Black modern company in New York. It's one of the most famous ones. And that's the school I was like dancing at. And I thought I was going to be like in the company there. I thought they were going to like recruit me while I was like, before I graduate high school or whatever. And Beyonce was rehearsing at the studio because it was one of the like nicest, most beautiful, like bigger studios in New York for people to rent out and rehearse at. And she was rehearsing for some awards show at Radio City in New York. And her choreographer was outside of the rehearsal room, and he stopped me, like, just based on my looks. I was in a leotard and tights, girl, bun, whatever. But everybody had heard, like, Beyonce was there. Yeah. There was a security guard standing out. Like, you know, word gets around, especially at, like, a dance studio or whatever. So everybody was, like, kind of, like, whispering. I had, like, a class down there, so I was kind of just, like, oh, whatever. And the choreographer stops me, and he's like, excuse me, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, yes, what do you want to know? And he's like, you're very beautiful. Like, do you do more than ballet? I see you do ballet. I'm like, yes, I do ballet, modern, jazz, hip hop, tap, you know, lyrical, everything. I'm trained in
You're like, here's my whole resume.
Yeah, I'm like, would you like to see me audition? What do you want? And he invited me into the rehearsal space, and that was like my first time meeting her ever. And she was so sweet, and so like just humble, and like she looked like a dancer, you know. Her hair was down and big, and she had no makeup on, she had no shoes on, she was barefoot, just like regular rehearsal clothes, and sweating and just working hard, like all of us in that studio, you know. And it was just beautiful. That was like my first like actual meeting with her, and I was like, oh, this is so nice, you know. And then he took my information, told me he would call me, and never called me. Very like my introduction to the industry. Yeah. I was like, this is what it's like. Got it.
Was he? I hate to ask this, but do you think he was like trying to holler at low key, or was he just like on some professional?
No. I think he was actually like genuinely, because he is like known in this industry for kind of finding and discovering talent. Wow. He is still, I say, like responsible for discovering me, because he's like a mentor of mine. He's like my father.
So it came full circle in the end. It came
full circle, girl.
Oh, wow.
So like months later, they're having open call auditions, and like all my friends are like, oh, let's go. Beyonce auditions, whatever. And the line is literally like down the block, around the corner. This is in New York City, like 6 blocks, you know? And this is in November. It's freezing. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not standing in this line. Like, I'm not doing it. My mom's like my biggest fan, you know.
She's like, you gonna stand in this line? We got the tent hook up.
Yeah, she's like, girl, we didn't move all the way to New York for you not to stand in this line. So you go ahead and go on, stand in this line. Like, whatever. She always would say, what do you have to lose? Yeah. And I still tell myself that to this day. Like, anytime I like am wanting to do something, or like taking a risk, or like a little scared, it's like, what do you have to lose? Like, nothing. You know, if you have nothing to lose, then go. Yeah.